universe is calling you. The universe is calling me. It speaks both day and night. It's full of dark and light.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to SkyTour Radio. I'm your host, Mark D'Antonio. That smiling face right there, that's Tara. Hi, Tara. How are you?
Hello, Mark. How are you? Good to be here.
Likewise. And down below, we have Daryl. Hi, Daryl.
Hi, Mark. Hello, Tara. Hello, Marianne. Hi, everybody.
Wait, hold on. What the heck is that down there? What are you doing here?
What?
You're in the wrong show.
Wait a minute, this is not iDetective. It's not Wednesday night.
Oh, jeez, no.
Is it Wednesday?
Okay, sorry. I guess I better go.
You better not. No, folks. Actually, I want to welcome Marianne Robb to the show right here because she is, of course, one of the movers and shakers with SkyTour LiveStream, and she's also one of the main people in the show iDetective on Wednesday.
Like she was moving and shaking somebody else at that right fist.
I know.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, show everybody what you've done to your hand.
Mark,
see, that's what happens when you punch a perp. You punch a
Yeah.
perp, that's what you get.
He's got a hard head there, huh, Marianne?
Yeah, my head hurts after that hit. No, she actually had some surgery, which they had to put a hand on. She used to have a big hammer on the end of her hand, right?
A taser.
Yes, she had a built-in taser they added to her hand.
Yeah.
Well, it just looks like this, like zzz, like. Blah, blah, blah.
There's a couple of people in the stream SkyTour live stream that would love for you to be tased.
Yeah, I hear it all the time.
Yeah, so
And,
now I have a taser.
Yeah, taser. That's what I need.
Very convenient.
Yes.
So, I asked Marianne to be here with us tonight because they just carried out, Tara and Marianne just carried out some fundamental maintenance at the observatory. And since Tara and Marianne are very important to SkyTour LiveStream, which is a nonprofit organization now, I just want to give them credit where credit is due. They deserve a ton of love. And I think that it would be nice if the folks listening and watching, show some love for them in the comments. Just go ahead, let it out. Tell them what you think, because as long as it's good. Okay. But I think it'd be a good night to do that. Now we're going to talk tonight about SkyTour LiveStream. We're going to talk about the genesis of the observatory, and we're going to talk about the futures of what we're doing because we do have some news. I would say it's sort of tentative, but it's not so tentative if you talk to Marianne over there. Okay. I'm a little more cautious, right? She just jumps right in, but I have to admit, every time she's jumped right in, she's been right. So, we got to go with that, right? But, for those who don't know what it is, SkyTour LiveStream is a journey through the wonders of the deep night sky. As I say, we bring you the universe live in real time. You get to see the most amazing things in the sky, okay? And that smile you see on Tara's face right there, that's what most of the people watching the stream feel the whole time we're on. Their faces freeze that way. It's like, hi, what are you doing? I was watching SkyTour LiveStream last night. I'm really upset about other things, but the SkyTour LiveStream makes me smile. I can't get the smile off my face. So,
and Marianne's smile is what you see when you see flashing lights in your back window.
The cough.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's right. That's right. So the truth being, that was a good one, Daryl.
Not my window.
Not my window either, because she doesn't come out here. Not recently. So anyway, what we do with SkyTour LiveStream is we show people the night sky in ways they've never seen it before. And as I said, it's live in real time. And we have special dedicated astronomy cameras to capture and show you the night sky, show you deep, dark galaxies that would remain forever hidden to your eyes unless you had a special system like we have, and nebulae, the birthplaces of stars, and for that matter, all life on Earth was born in these nebulae originally. So it's a very interesting time. Everyone who joins, they will sometimes they'll stick this up on their big screen TVs and sit down with popcorn and watch the show like it's a TV show. It's like, oh man, it's come so far from what it was, so far from what it was. And Daryl remembers when I was doing this on my front lawn here in Connecticut. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember you turning into a popsicle.
I was almost a corpsicle sometimes out there.
Corpsicle?
A corpsicle, yes, because it was so cold out there. Sometimes it was 10 degrees or lower, and I'd be inside this actual observatory dome. And when it's that cold, everything you touch is painful. Standing is painful, and especially since I had to stand still while taking exposures, because the floor is separated. It was separated from the pier that the telescope was on, but just the movement of air could cause wafts of warm air that I'm radiating as a human in that dome, which is an 8-foot diameter dome, out of the opening, causing pictures to get screwed up and ruined. Yeah. So what we did was we basically outgrew the dome. I sold it to a fellow down in Long Island, New York. He came up and disassembled it himself. That was part of the agreement, which he did. He didn't get the pier. That's still out there, actually. And we've got a second enclosure we're working on out there that's going to be temporary, sort of portable. It'll allow us to move it at a moment's notice if we have to. But then we have SkyTour 3. I said 3. That'd be the third observatory. And that one's probably going to go in before the new first one. You can actually see that telescope right there. That's actually the telescope that is it was the SkyTour East telescope for quite a long time. As a matter of fact, let's put up a light on that so you can see it. So now you can see the SkyTour East telescope there, all rehabilitated and all ready to go back into a building here, albeit temporarily. All right. So that is what we're doing. And SkyTour East telescope ready to go. However, we're going to be doing SkyTour West 3 probably beforehand. And cool. That's the thing that has these guys excited, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Definitely.
It's going to be a longer focal length system. The one we have now has a field that's 4 full moons across. So you get 4 full moons across our field. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And 3 full moons tall. 1, 2, 3 in our rectangular field that we currently have in the telescope. But what we're going to have is a system that shows us a field of view that's smaller than the full moon. Okay. And that'll allow us to look at the hearts of nebulae and sometimes clusters that require what we call focal length, that is magnification in the end. And that's something that we're going to be doing a lot of. And at the same time, you'll be able to view the big screen view of the wide field view and see the close-up view at the same time.
Cool.
No one's doing this. There's absolutely no one doing this anywhere. Excuse me. So that said, I do want to, the reason again that Marianne's here is because I want her to give her perspective on what it was like to go out into the desert and do maintenance. Okay. Because she's always doing it. And so is Tara. And no, she didn't hurt her hand in the desert. That was actually a planned surgery to help her, get a taser put into her hand. Mm-hmm. So
she's bionic.
So why don't you, Tara, and you, Marianne, why don't you tell us about the latest maintenance trip to SkyTour LiveStream?
Hey, Marianne, I give it to you. Go for it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I got to say, this was probably one of the easier ones that we have done maintenance-wise. Mm-hmm. The one camera, and has been, I've noticed this on our Facebook page that people are like, hey, why haven't we had any streams? Well, the one camera that oversees the handheld handset to actually start the telescope, that unfortunately that camera stopped working.
Well, it's intermittent. It still works, but
it worked when we were out there.
We can't depend on it. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So we thought we could put it in another USB port and everything would be fine, but of course, no. So we're looking at getting a new camera to put out there.
It's right. It's Monday.
Wait, yes. So I got to say, it was, we finished that. We did some dusting of the interior. Tara did that because she's got such a steady hand. I let her do everything inside. I do everything on the outside. All SkyCam. Oh, heck yeah. All SkyCam. We clean that up. You know, birds like to sit on that and poop on it.
They do.
They do.
Yeah, and there you can see it. It's clean right here, but I don't know for how long. You know? But
we noticed the chain. That's another thing is we went out for the garage door opener and the roof to roll off. We have, of course, a garage door chain and we lube it, we clean it, but we also know that it was kind of sagging. It was getting loose. So we were able to figure out how to tighten it. So it was a good maintenance trip. And I was real happy that at least every 3 months we need to get out there.
Yeah, that's Tara, what was your thought process on that? I mean, I know that you want to turn it back over to Marianne right away, but I don't want to let you.
No, it's your turn.
This was the all sky cam that she was talking about just now, and it's the highest part of the observatory. So birds tend to go to the highest part, which is why they're in the tops of trees. It's why they're on the tops of our dome camera too. So you know, can't deal without it. You can't do without it.
No, it was a beautiful trip out there. And we've had a lot of rain this year in the desert. And so there was a lot of dry grass all the way up to the observatory door itself. But that's getting cleaned up this week and that should be handled. But it's getting to be fire season around here. But that's why we built the observatory with metal walls. And hopefully we won't have any issues with that. So but it looked really good inside. There was no evidence of any critters, no spiders or anything. Yes, I had to check that out so Marianne could come in. And we did find it really beautiful horny toad. I guess there's a bunch of them out there. So that was cool. And And that was when we were taking the telescope or bringing it back after being repaired the last time.
That was the last one, yeah.
Yeah, that was a major one. Can you put up that picture 2 times ago, please? Not that one, the one that you're looking. Okay. You can't kind of see it. No, the picture of Tara actually looking. There you go. Folks, if you can look at the telescope and look at the lower left, that is the camera that we were talking about that now we need to replace it. That is actually looking at the handheld controls.
I wish I could use a cursor to point, but you see that long aluminum bench that's against the wall. Okay, at the right end of that aluminum bench, that's the camera, and it's looking at a guard which prevents the light from getting in, and it's looking directly at the telescope handset, which we have remote access. So this gives us every bit of access to what the telescope's doing, what it's seeing, and so forth. And that's how that works, and that works great.
And it does work. It gets just so hot out there, we really didn't know how the desert temperatures or the climate would affect this. It's really haven't done it before, but everything seems to be holding up fairly well, with these minor camera issues. I think this is the second time the camera has gone out.
This camera?
One of there's an old camera in the supplies there, so I think we've had issues before.
It might have been one of the white one. Might have been a white camera. There was a white camera in there that I had, which was actually a really interesting camera. It was a Wi-Fi camera, which is pan, tilt, and zoom, And I wanted to use that one originally in the beginning to just be an overall camera to inspect the building from inside. But until we get better Wi-Fi out there, then that's going to have to wait. I don't know what Wi-Fi is like at the second site, Marianne.
Well, it's actually very, very good. It's going to be another Starlink. It's going to have Starlink, and hopefully the new setup that we're going to have will be able to do more Wi-Fi and put that camera out there, which the pan and tilt and do all that. That'd be kind of cool to be able to look around
I agree.
the whole inside. So
yeah.
I want to be able to do that when we're looking at nebulas, is to pan and tilt. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes,
you can write a program for that, can't you?
Oh, sure.
Okay, good. Yay, coming soon. I'm excited.
Yeah, coming soon. Tara's pan and tilt.
That would be cool.
It is. So that was pretty cool. So I know there have been a number of things, like this was a telescope when it was being reinstalled, I believe. I think this is the installation, the first time it was being installed.
The initial installation.
Yep. And so that was very interesting. And if you look at how simple that looks, compare that to this. Okay, this is now an extremely complex set of systems now that are all working together and working. This is really, really the best shot. Those cables on the ground are not actually on the ground. That's just while doing maintenance. That's all been elevated off the ground to keep everything off the ground. Wires have been bundled and put in wire bundlers to prevent anything from being in the way. Tara's actually holding the hand control at this point in this image because she's doing something, helping me figure out what's going on, because I wasn't there. I was 2,500 miles away and watching all this remotely through the telescope, the security cameras inside the building, and through the phone using I was like a face on the phone to them. So they could just
amazing.
They could just hang up on me if they wanted to.
We don't have to. The signal comes and goes. So
yeah, it's true.
Hang up
we walk in the building. So that's the fun part, is Tara's in there, doing the controls. I stand on the outside of the building holding the phone, and Mark and Tara are talking about what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for you, Marianne, because thank goodness.
It's like, hey, I'll just hold the phone right here. But no, it's the communication's great with you, even though you're 2,500 miles away. It's kind of cool that you can tell us what to do, and Tara just gets right in there and makes the adjustments.
Yeah, it is really cool. And the nice thing too is that this all started from this.
Yep.
This is exactly beneath the pier right here, right on the ground, before the concrete, before the building. This was there for about 11 months. And it was only after that we started doing the building. And the building started with this, with the foundation. Yeah, the concrete foundation, And, you wonder, well, why an observatory out there? I mean, is it really that dark? And let me show you what it looks like out there, because this image right here kind of says it all. That image you see right there, okay? Notice that there's red down below along the horizon. Okay, do you know why it's red? Because the sun had just set. The sun had just set, and we're still seeing the full summer Milky Way here. You see that,
no
Daryl?
Photoshop there.
Yeah,
it's so pretty.
I see the dark horse.
You do.
I see the Pipe Nebula. Center of the galaxy is just the lower left of the bowl of the pipe. I see M8. I see the whole Sagittarius. I see the teapot.
Yeah.
Yes, sirree. I have a question for something you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
The cell phone doesn't work inside the observatory?
Not very well, because the walls prevent just enough of the cell signal from not getting out.
Is that because of the metal wall? Metal
Yeah,
skin?
it's acting kind of like a Faraday cage, and When the roof's off, it's better, but when the roof's on, no dice. It's going to be a lot, because the roof is also metal.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but as you can imagine, when I took this photograph, I didn't know what I was going to get. This was long before the observatory was even a thought in my head. Okay, I was at my friend's place out in the folks who own the land. I was at their place out in the middle of the desert. Okay, in the Sonoran, and I looked up and said, "Wow, that is just stunning." And the guy said to me, "Oh yeah, Mark, that's what we see every night." I go, "Ha, that's what I have dreamed of every night." In fact, I painted that on my ceiling as a kid in my house where I grew up in glow-in-the-dark stars, complete with all the Milky Way clouds. I put 3,000 stars on the ceiling, by hand using my ScaleNate Pliso chart that I followed the stars and mapped it out with a string and made it look perfect.
That's great.
And I was just hungry for just a good dark Milky Way like this. And now I stood out there. I was like, look at this. I can't believe it's happening. And then when this happened, when we got this here, it was like, this is the first time when this was poured. Okay, it had just been leveled and squeegeed or whatever you call it. Okay,
squeegeed.
I don't know what you call it. I screeded. I don't know. Well, whatever. Anyway, it had been smooth with a float. Okay, the concrete float was used. Okay, and it smooths it out. And that night, I could not resist to get on top of that and take photographs, and I did. And I used my camera with an automatic guiding system on the camera, just on the camera and the tripod. And the results made this all worth it. I was like, I can't believe this. If we never got anything more than just a platform, this is stunning, because, yeah.
Did you ever put the date in that when it was still wet by any chance? I don't remember. I guess that means no.
We'd have to look at the date of the pictures. It was like October, wasn't it? October, November.
No, actually it was September. February, because we just got back from MegaCon, the UFO MegaCon in Laughlin, and it was raining. It was raining that weekend, and we almost didn't get that slab poured. So it was February of,
that's right. I remember
I think 2000.
It was. That's right. That's crazy. That was amazing. And so what we did was we ended up getting that concrete in place. And that night, I think this was my sunset right there. As the sun was setting with a very young moon. Okay. Really, really pretty over the saguaro cactus in the distance. And a couple nights previous, I had captured this sunset. Now, and the weird thing is, this is not enhanced. This is exactly how it looked to my eye. So I don't understand what causes the vibrance of the colors. I'm an astronomer. Shouldn't I understand this? I think I was taken more by the romance of it and by the beauty of it than I was by anything else.
I suspect that's the same reason why Arizona Highways magazine is so popular, the colors.
Yeah.
And,
you're probably right.
They say New Mexico has a special light, and Arizona certainly has a special light too.
Yeah, it certainly has a light that's beyond anything that I've ever seen. I've never seen a sunset like that anywhere else in the country.
And it's interesting, within 30 seconds to maybe a minute and a half, that color will change to another color.
Yep.
So if you see something, you better take a picture, because
when it's going off.
Yeah, it'll just change, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's been colors I've seen out there that go from those reds to purple within just a few seconds. And it's like, oh, that's a beautiful picture. No, that's even better. Whoa, that's even better. Oh, it's going away now. And photographers call that the sweet light. And that surely is the sweet light. You can't paint that with the same accuracy as this photo can capture it. You could, but look at this view. It's just
just
so
beautiful.
stunning. And that's actually looking to the west from the observatory pad. I would like to. I haven't tried this yet, but I don't think I can see the top of that saguaro cactus that's just to the right of center or to the left of center. I don't think I can quite see those. It's just below the visibility because the wall of the observatory blocks that, and that's okay. That's okay. So it was a very successful day out there. Now, it wasn't for lack of excitement. There was some excitement out there. I remember one time they went out there. It was like not this past maintenance, maybe the previous one. Oh yeah, Marianne knows where this is going.
You're sitting down, Marianne, aren't you?
Yeah, she's sitting down. And I want to make sure that our esteemed producer Bill, who manages everything for us in a phenomenal way, I hope he's watching right now because I want to show you what they found in the observatory when they opened it 2 times ago.
That.
Yeah, that's this.
Aww.
What a cutie. What a beautiful little fuzzy tarantula. Now look at this is on Tara's husband's hand.
It's Dale's hand, yeah.
That's Dale. And, the tarantula is not embedding its fangs because tarantulas are rather docile. It takes a lot to get bitten by a tarantula. Yep.
No.
He wanted to get out of there. I don't know how he got in.
I kind of screamed and got the heck out of there.
Yeah, but see, the problem was I was on the phone with her, and all I saw, and I'll show it to you. All I saw was this, that's all I saw, and this was going on all over the place. Like, where are you going? What's going on? I mean, what happened?
All I heard was
I couldn't even say tarantula.
What?
I'd never seen one of those out in the wild, and that freaked me out. So
it's kind of scary if you're not expecting it.
Our producer is not a happy camper right about now. I see in the chat.
Yeah. Bill is our producer. Basically, told us that he nearly jumped out of his chair when he saw that, and that is exactly what he would have done, I'm sure. Bill, that's the size of the palm of your hand. Don't make a palm in your hand, Bill. Okay, just make the palm and say. Imagine the spider that could bridge the entire palm of your hand and the legs go to the end of your fingers. That's this guy. Isn't he cute?
And we put him on the ground and he just like disappeared. He was camouflaged.
Yes.
That's right. I want to tell Bill that when he comes out to Arizona in a couple of months.
Yeah. There he is.
I can almost guarantee there'll be no tarantulas. But I can't guarantee there won't be any scorpions, thanks to Mr. D'Antonio over here.
What? I love scorpions.
He'll hunt scorpions in my backyard.
Get the black light. Yes.
Yeah. No. See, now the carapace or the hard shell of a scorpion is chemically photoreactive. So when you shine a black light, ultraviolet light, say 400 nanometer frequency, and you shine it at a scorpion, they glow bright bluish color. You can see that from 150 feet away.
Yeah. That sounds cool. As long as
it's
feet away.
Oh, I see what he's saying. As long as it's 150 feet away.
Yeah.
No. Then you go over, Bill, and you pick them up by the tail and you eat them.
Oh, no.
Oh, eat that, Bill. Don't listen to him on that.
No.
Does he do this to you, Marianne, when he goes over there? Does he actually do that? Like, come out, I'm going to go scorpion hunting?
Actually, check out this one. He was chasing a scorpion in my backyard one night. Okay. The next morning, I find a scorpion upstairs. I have a 2-story house. Upstairs in my bathtub.
Mark.
It was in my bathtub.
I'm locking the bedroom door.
Oh, they go right underneath the door, though. That's the thing. That little gap that fit right through that. No problem.
I'll jump off in a second, but I think I just want to see if I got this date right. I found something of the Laughlin UFO MegaCon. Was that March 27, 2020?
So it was March. It wasn't February. So we had it March. Beginning of March, April, probably maybe April. But I believe it was 2020 when we had that done.
I think it is because I saw Mark spoke there. And I did the research just now.
So I did the door in November of 2020.
Okay.
So, the flab was probably done in February, the first part of the year, maybe, but I think it was near the end of the year that we got the walls up.
Yeah. Cause I think it was October of 2020 that we all signed the wood. You, Randy, and I signed the wood.
We were here.
Now, wait a minute. Mark, put that picture back up, please.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Tara. What's whiter, his socks or the legs? Sorry.
That's great, Mary.
Okay, you know what?
I think we went to the hospital.
Astronomers only come out at night. Okay, we only come out at night. You over there.
If it weren't for both of you, Tara and Marianne, a lot of this never would have got off the ground, and Mark would be the first one.
Right. I'm usually the first one to say it. That's true because they're too humble about it. To be honest with you, Bill.
And the great work that Daryl does with Mark on SkyTour LiveStream.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Very
and
nice.
hopefully there'll be a telescope maybe somewhere across the pond, or maybe even the land down under, Mark.
Oh no, we haven't even worked on a Southern Hemisphere telescope yet, but that is one of the goals down the line.
Awesome.
I've had actually, and neither Tara or Marianne have heard this because I didn't know how serious it was until I inquired just the other day. There is someone down there that is willing to carve out some space for us. I have to do a dark sky study to see if it's worth it. But it really has to be far away from cities like Melbourne and Sydney. It's got to be way out in nowhere. And if it's not, then I won't do it. I mean, I'm not going to compromise to see a fuzzy Magellanic Cloud. I want to see a Magellanic Cloud, which is a southern sky object, guys. I want to see a Magellanic Cloud that's absolutely stunning and shows up very well after just a 20-second shot. Now, all our photos are about 10 to 20 to 30 seconds long.
I don't know if Mark's mentioned this because I stepped away from the computer, but he's going to be at Contact in the Desert in a few weeks. And he's going to be doing a live sky tour there.
That's right. SkyTour LiveStream will be live at Contact, and that'll be our first studio audience, effectively.
How cool.
So we're going to do a live stream. It's going to be a live stream to the world, and we're going to have a live audience at the same time. We've never done that before because I can't fit too many people in here.
And then I wish, Tyler, that you could go to Roswell and join us. But Mark is going to do another live.
She's still invited if she can make it.
Yeah, if you can make it. Us three will be there.
Right.
Be awesome if you can get out there.
Oh, I'd love to go. Yeah.
And Daryl, of course, you as well. But Mark's going to be doing another Skywatch live.
At Contact, I'm doing the first hour with Ben Hansen, and we're going to do his Skywatch. Okay. Ben's a good friend. We have been for many years. And then the second hour, or the second Skywatch, is going to be Ben working with me on my Skywatch. So I'm working with him on his. And then right on its heels, he's going to work with me on mine.
Aww.
And we're going to have the studio audience and the whole world looking anyway. So that'll be kind of a good place for everybody to be, you know. And on top of all this, we also are looking to have some products ready, you know, that will be available for people. And these are things that are good mementos of SkyTour. We'll have some T-shirts, probably not in time for Contact, but maybe Roswell. Marianne, what say you?
Oh, I'm hoping so. We're going to be working on it when I get back into town. But maybe not Contact. But I'm really hoping. And if someone gives us a donation, you know, we give them a T-shirt. We're going to be, you know, giving T-shirts for donations, and we're so excited about SkyTour LiveStream and our nonprofit now. It's just so fantastic. You know, it's so great to have, like you said, looks like we'll have a second observatory out in Arizona soon, and wouldn't it be great, like you said, down in Australia or somewhere, have another third one, and it'll be made possible by donations with our nonprofit. Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
I agree.
Who was the one that made that awesome merchandise at UFO Expo at the table?
That was the initial initial merchandise was designed by Robin Curtis, who was a SkyTour LiveStream listener. Wow. And I've since done a lot of designs and made another set of products up there. We've since got a professional logo that's going on all these things now. And thanks to Tara and Marianne and their diligence, the entire nonprofit got set up in, I would think, record time, to be honest with you. Yeah. Because Tara was relentless. I mean, she's a pit bull. Okay, you think I'm kidding? Okay, when I showed you this picture of this building out here, everything you see in that picture, everything. Okay, it's there because Tara made it so. She was out there. Marianne was helping her, but Tara was, if you want to call someone a construction foreman, I guess. To me, that's an honorable position because without it, none of this would have happened. She managed to reel in contractors. Marianne helped reel in contractors, and they made this all come together. So I can't tell you.
Big thank you to Tara.
It's a privilege, honestly. It's really a good cause, and I think there's a lot of folks out there who know a little bit about astronomy, but the SkyTour live stream is such an approachable way to learn astronomy, and we have the most amazing images, and it's really awesome that I get to be involved, and I don't take it lightly. I think it's definitely a privilege.
Ladies, I did industrial maintenance for a living for 40 plus years, and I salute you. I wish there was something I could do, but
you're doing what we can.
Are you serious, Daryl?
Are you serious? Daryl.
Well,
you're doing a lot.
Mark owes me money. That's all.
Don't hold your breath.
Wait, did I say you were doing a good job?
I did.
He is doing a great job.
Anyway,
you know so much.
Keep up the great work, all of you. And Daryl and Tara, I really hope to meet you in person one day as well.
Yep.
So hopefully that will happen in the near term. But,
well, Daryl has threatened to come meet with me when I had to speak in Colorado a couple times, but it was just a threat.
When the Greeks count time by kalends.
What's that?
When the Greeks count time by kalends.
Oh. Is that going to be a while?
That's an old saying.
Yes. Well, have a great rest of your show.
Thanks, Bill.
All right,
Thank
Bill.
you, Bill.
See you, Bill.
Thank you very much, Bill. Oh, and by the way, Bill, look at your screen again. Sorry, I just had to do it.
That makes me wonder, do you have rattlesnakes out there? I've never heard you mention rattlesnakes.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of rattlesnakes.
Luckily, we haven't seen any at the observatory site.
But they're there.
But the landowners have seen them.
Yeah, the landowner has seen them, and unfortunately, he had to kill them. There was a 5.5-foot rattlesnake there last season, and he killed it. And I think that in the area, he killed 6 in 1 week. No one displaces them. I mean, to call a snake wrangler in is costly, and the cost of snake shot in a 9mm handgun is about a nickel, maybe 10 cents. Yeah. And so people will just take the head off the snake with a snake shot. I mean, when I'm there, I have one on my hip, and I walk out, and I always have snake shot with me, but not for any other reason, but to just ward off any creatures, and I've never, ever, ever used it, so it's okay. It's like I would rather displace them and move them to a new location.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
If I could, but I'm not going to sit there and make friends with it.
We have all those critters here too, and I leave them alone. They leave me alone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep. We have an annual tarantula migration here. Do they have one down there?
I don't know. Don't want to know. I'm not going anywhere near that.
Yeah. Oh, there's thousands and thousands of them. They set out. The boy tarantulas are looking for girl tarantulas, and they cover the highways down southeast of here.
Oh, yuck.
Big deal every year.
I can just imagine the sound under the car tires.
I've seen that with grasshoppers. I don't want to do that with.
Oh yeah. Well, locusts versus tarantula infestation. I don't even know what.
Okay, moving on.
La 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 la.
Yes, la 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 la. Ha. Oh, okay.
You're terrible.
Okay, so the whole point of what we're talking about is, of course, tonight is SkyTour live stream, and when you join the SkyTour live stream session, okay, you see basically this is what you see. This is kind of the screen you'll see. Okay, the top left is the telescope control. Right below it, you see the black and white image. That's our infrared view of the telescope in the building. Then there's me with the messy hair, apparently. And then to the right of that is the image that's live. These are live images that are coming in. Absolutely live images, okay? These are coming. Oh, yeah, and then I sometimes move around to point things out. In this case, I'm pointing at the white dwarf in the middle of this planetary nebula. Cool. It's that tiny little white dot in the center. And, I look at SkyTour live stream, what we affectionately call STLS. STLS is an educational playground where we show you the universe, as I said, live in real time, but we're actually showing you things that make a difference. It makes a difference to how you understand your place in the universe, right. And that's because we have this educational approach. Now, I have a degree in astronomy, and I took my degree to public outreach. Public outreach is so important, I think. It's the most important aspect of astronomy, because if you can't bring in people who don't know a lot about astronomy and get them excited about what's over their head that they cannot see anymore because there's too many city lights, as Daryl has often talked about where he lives. Oh, yeah. Well, then what's the point, right? Understanding the universe over your head. And most importantly, the universe you can't see over your head. Yeah. That's the key to understanding life here. Because we were born in the blackness. All right. And there's dark nebula out there, dark dust clouds all over the place that are the fundamental reason that we're here. And that's something very important. Like we've talked about this before. When you look at these dark dust clouds out in the universe, okay, and Daryl alluded to them before when he said the Dark Horse Nebula. He was talking about a feature that was inside of this image. Okay, you see the bright star clouds, but then you see those little filaments of black here and there. Mm-hmm. Those are dark nebula. And these dark nebulae are made of carbon atoms, silicon atoms, okay, stuff that's made in supernovae. And in the outer atmospheres of very large distended stars where it's so cool that molecules can form. And then they conglomerate together to form a dust particle. And a dust particle is only a few microns across, and a micron is a millionth of a meter. So we're talking really tiny. Tiny. And, they look like this. This is an interstellar dust grain. It's made up of millions of individual atoms, billions of individual atoms of carbon or silicon, and so they do many things. And what happens is ice forms on their surfaces in those dark clouds, and you can see how complicated it is, right? I mean, when you have ultraviolet energy come in, that says UV irradiation there on the upper left, that comes in and it strikes the ice and causes other things to be thrown off and come off of the ices. You see these other molecules coming off to the left. Well, those molecules are part of the fundamental building blocks of life. Okay, so we're looking at many things here. We have water ice, we have formaldehyde, we have carbon dioxide ice, we have ammonia ices, we have methane ices, we have all kinds of things that conglomerate on these dust grains. And in short, it's those dust grains which lead us to the material that's required in a nebula to form a planet. And the hydrogen gas in these nebula, which is the most plentiful element in the whole universe, the hydrogen forms stars. And so if there's a large star that's formed in the middle of a cloud of all this stuff, including those interstellar dust grains we're talking about, then those dust grains conglomerate together and they do something called clumping. All right. Clumping is a relatively natural process in the absence of a large gravitational field other than a star in the middle. They have localized gravitational fields, and these clusters of material start to clump together and build a gigantic planet over time. And that's why our solar system looks so different. Near the sun, we have these rocky planets. Mercury is rocky without much of an atmosphere. Venus is rocky with a very dense atmosphere, which incidentally is about 90 times the density of ours, and that's about what the Earth was a few billion years ago. And then the Earth's atmosphere thinned out because we had things like rain that could occur at our particular location from the sun. We're far enough away where liquid water could exist just on the surface and sit there in a pool. And that led to rain, which drained a huge amount of mass over time out of the atmosphere. And then other types of cycles could start, a carbon dioxide cycle, a methane cycle, and other cycles that allow these things to get, absorbed into the ocean. And yes, the oceans formed as a result of a lot of this rain. Now, it rained for millions of years. Now, I mean, if you were a weatherman back there, it'd be like, get more rain. We'll see tomorrow. That'd be about it. So there were times when it actually rained for such a period of time that it was a ridiculously long time. Okay. So, and that led to a variety of landforms that stuck up above the waters. And then the waters served as the birthplace of life on our planet. It started with single-celled creatures, went to multicellular creatures, and then eventually complex proteins could exist in these waters, along with these complex molecules and precursors to life, so to speak. And I won't pretend I can say when the switch turned and there was life. Because quite frankly, I don't know that we have a really good definition other than saying self-directed action or reproductive capabilities. I mean, there's a number of reasons, and Marianne wants to say something here.
I'm just question about the rain. Yeah, it just rained and rained. Can that ever happen again for the Earth or in our atmosphere or anything like that? I mean, could we have that again?
Actually, that's a really good question. I went right past it, but thank you for thinking to ask that. If you think about it, you asked the question, why did it rain back then? It rained back then because we had lots of volcanoes on a barren Earth made of rocky crust, but there were plenty of volcanoes poking up like pimples, right? They stick up and they explode. That was a gross description.
Thanks,
but basically, you're welcome. I resemble that remark. But when volcanoes would spew sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide and H2O, steam, water vapor into the atmosphere, that made the atmosphere a lot more massive with all these additional compounds and chemicals. But keep in mind that there wasn't any free oxygen in our atmosphere early on. None. So we couldn't exist back then. Okay. The reason we have free oxygen is because once the rain, those clouds became heavy on the Earth, as opposed to Venus, on Earth, water could condense out of the atmosphere. On Venus, it was so hot that water was destroyed. When water would condense, it couldn't exist any longer in the atmosphere. All right. There could be hot water vapor in the very tip tops of the Venusian clouds, but down below, dry as a bone. It was just not able. I mean, the temperature at the surface of Venus today is over 900 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
That's a little hot.
Well, it used to be that hot here.
That's right. When we had an atmosphere that was 90 times denser as well, our surface was very hot, and that's the time I'm talking about. About the same time that Daryl's talking about is the time when we ended up having an atmosphere that was like Venus's. But when our atmosphere began to thin out, it only did so because the water could make it out of the atmosphere and drain out. And there was also other components and compounds in the atmosphere that could be taken out with it. Okay. And Venus doesn't have that option. So it never rained there. So the Venusian atmosphere could never thin because there's other compounds in that atmosphere that could never leave the atmosphere.
But doesn't it I have a question. Doesn't it rain like methane on other places? I mean, are there enough chemicals in the Venusian atmosphere that it could rain something else?
Well, to rain methane, it has to be really, really cold. And so, for instance, on Titan, Saturn II and Titan, it's cold enough for there to be a methane rain. Okay. So I know that's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Let's just look at that. Yeah. Mm. Yes. With every rub, your fingers would be frozen off, and you're killing yourself. Yeah, but it has to be really cold. And as Daryl pointed out too, it's got to be really cold to rain methane or ethane,
or any other chemical.
Yeah. But the pure heat is as a killer, and that's why Venus is right at that, just on the other side of the habitable zone for our star. And that toward the star, it's too hot for anything. Just past Venus's orbit, it's manageable. If we were any closer to Venus in our orbit, it would be a very different history here. We wouldn't have as much. If we were any further away than we are, like near Mars, because of our mass, we might be an icy planet, but we might still have life. But all the opportunity for life that can evolve like this is here. That comes from being in this specific location where we can have liquid water on the surface for prolonged periods, like our oceans, like lakes.
In the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah.
You got it. The Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold, that kind of thing.
Just right.
Yeah. And everything I'm talking about relates to what we look at with SkyTour LiveStream, right? Because we show you those cold, dark clouds in the universe from whence life comes. We show you the stellar nurseries where the sun was born, clouds of hydrogen gas filled with this dark dust. Cool. And when that dark dust is actually illuminated, when you see that dark dust illuminated, many times what you'll end up getting is a view of this material, okay, this dust as shown by the stars around it. And sometimes that stuff looks blue, like in this view from SkyTour LiveStream. This is an example from SkyTour that we did. This is the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters. And that's a star cluster that's roughly 400 light years away, I think. And you can see it looks dusty. Those aren't clouds in the sky. That's actually this dark dust I was talking about. What it really is, in fact, is it's a lot of this. A lot of these dust grains, trillions upon trillions upon trillions, beyond your count, of dust that is sitting out there and is actually surrounding these stars. In fact, those stars are just passing through it. That's a dust cloud, incidentally. Really interesting thought here that latest research is showing that this dust cloud might be the place, or might be a place where we are actually part of. This dust cloud might be related to our sun.
Wow.
And so those Pleiades stars are floating through this dust cloud that's sitting here, and they're just going through it. And as they do, they light it up. And you see it like you do, then they pass through, and the dust cloud stays there because that's sort of a long bridging dust cloud that kind of goes with us, So it's kind of neat. Now, all stars orbit around the galaxy, and our star does the same thing. Our star has been orbiting the galaxy for roughly 20 times since we were formed. Okay, so it's like 230 million years in orbit, I think, if I do that quickly.
That's a lot.
A long time, But during that time, don't forget, stars go by ours closer and farther away, closer and farther away, closer. And over time, as we orbit the sun, we have different neighbors all the time. Okay. Some of those neighbors have caused comets in the outer cloud of comets around the sun, called the Oort cloud, to be dislodged and head into the inner solar system where they come in. Sometimes they might actually hit the Earth, like Tunguska. The Tunguska explosion is rumored to be a large, impact caused by a relatively small comet. But look how large amount of damage it caused. It blew down a forest for thousands of square miles around the epicenter. And because it's mostly ices, it exploded in the atmosphere over it. So it was an air burst. And that was enough to cause a tremendous amount of damage.
Wow.
Burned the shirts off people's backs 40 miles from the explosion. So that's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so, Mark.
Let me guess.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Get your stuff together. Yeah. Thank you, Tara. That's wonderful. So I guess what I'm getting at is, when we talk about the stuff we see, many times we'll show people galaxies like the Andromeda galaxy here, with that weird interloper guy there pointing at dark structure. That dark cloud that I'm pointing at there is actually part of these dark nebula that we see in our own galaxy, but we're seeing them from outside another galaxy. These are the Andromeda Galaxy's dark nebulae. Okay, we have our own, but we're seeing them from inside. So it's much more detailed for us because we're seeing it from inside and we're kind of close to them. This is 2 million light years away. All the light you see from the Andromeda Galaxy is 2 million years old. So you look and say, what was going on the Earth 2 million years ago? Well, whatever was going on the Earth 2 million years ago, that's when that light you see today left the Andromeda Galaxy to get here.
It's amazing. It can still be shining.
I know. And yeah, the universe is a time machine.
Yeah,
it is. It's a time machine. Yeah. Yeah. Daryl and I talk about the time machine that's the universe quite often in our SkyTour live stream, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we show people many things like here, and this will be the last thing before the break. This right here, this is an orange K-type star. The K-type stars are orange, and a blue B-type star. They look white to me. I know, but they actually are orange and blue. Okay. In fact, they show better when they're out of focus. When you let them go out of focus, their colors are easier to see because the image is not as saturated. Okay. And the colors show better. It's a beautiful orange and a beautiful blue star together. Now, this star is my favorite double star in the night sky. Daryl knows what it is, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Daryl knows. And you, Tara, we've talked about this. It's summertime. It's in Cygnus.
I know what it is, and my mind went blank.
Oh, that's something I
wonder if people in chat know.
Maybe so. When we come back from the break, we can find out if they know what it is.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Well, you guys, we are going to be back in just a bit, and we'll continue to talk. We'll show you some really cool objects we've shot over the year in SkyTour live stream, and go through more. And just remember, if you guys get a chance, check out our Patreon. Go to SkyTourLive.com. It couldn't be simpler. And in the upper right corner, okay, well, for you in the upper right corner, okay, go check out our Patreon and maybe select and join one of the tiers there. And there's different benefits for each level. And I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not a real salesman. Okay, I'm an astronomer who wants to keep doing what I'm doing, but it costs us some money. So it'd be nice to have some community support on this. Now, we have a few patrons, and we're so happy to have them. But, hey, we'll talk about it more when we come back. So for now, thanks, guys. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
See ya. That's good.
Don't move. Just be little heads in a square. Be back.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Are you looking to go on a faraway journey that is magical and mysterious, reaping on mystical legends? If so, then Mysterious Adventure Tours is perfect for you. Imagine a voyage to explore ancient mysteries of Ireland, haunted majesties of Scotland, or their chilling birth of the vampires in Romania. These small esoteric getaways are limited and do feel vast. So, go to MysteriousAdventureTours.com and book your trip soon.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, You are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Okay, this is just a tough moment because my dog is in here with me. And I don't know what she ate.
Dingo.
I don't know why he keeps blaming poor Dingo. She can't say anything.
She doesn't have to.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
An old friend had a German Shepherd named Barney, and we would play Scrabble at the dinner table after dinner. And Barney would park himself under the dinner table, and he'd cut one every once in a while. We'd be playing Scrabble, all of a sudden everybody'd go, "Barney!" And he'd get up and he'd crawl up under the table, look at us with a shameful look on his face, and go away. They'd come back and do it again.
Well, you know what? And it's true. A little aside here. Dogs can show shame. Like yesterday, Dingo got a hold of the chocolate rice cakes that we bought actually for our youngest, Hunter, who was working a shift till midnight for the TV station where he works.
Cool.
And she got a hold of one of the packets of chocolate rice cakes and ate the whole thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I showed her the wrapper. I said, "What's this?" And she went like this.
Yeah.
That's a shame. And then when she got into the garbage, I have a photograph of it to immortalize it. And she's sitting there like with her shoulders up, looking away. And all the garbage spewed out all over the floor is right in front of her. And she's like, "Did I do that?"
You want to be careful with chocolate dogs. Chocolate's poisonous to dogs.
Yeah, especially the dark chocolate. This was just that chocolate flavored rice cakes. And unfortunately, she's gotten into them before. I don't know what it is. She has a chocolate thing. And
I'm a chocoholic. I get it.
I was going to say, females are supposed to love chocolate. So,
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Dingo, are you pregnant? No. She can have baby dogs. Anyway. So back at it here. I wanted to check out a few things with you here. You know, one of the things that I wanted to mention now that we're going to just take a little aside here. We have another hour to go, and I wanted to share with you just a little something. But it's a news note I should say. Japan's made great strides in their space program. Okay. However, one of the things that happened in our country is that the commercialization of space was started in earnest, not only but in earnest by Elon Musk and SpaceX. And they're doing commercial ventures to space. That's what Starlink is about. That's what the Falcon 9 reusable launching system is about. The Starship Heavy, all those things are about. And but Japan is doing its own approach to it as well. And they actually came up with a amazing concept that their first commercial venture was not to go into Earth orbit, not to do a suborbital flight where they don't quite get the orbit but come back down, but to go and land on the moon with a lander. And not only that, they wanted to have a rover to go with it. And so the Hakuto R was launched, and Hakuto means rabbit, a white rabbit in Japanese. And, you know, as Daryl knows from our discussions about the moon, there are lunar rabbits that you can see on the moon. Now, I don't mean real rabbits. I mean just the shapes of Maria, the dark spots and the light areas kind of resemble a rabbit. So you can make kind of like the man in the moon. Well, you got a rabbit in the moon. And the Japanese were big on rabbits and the moon. So they named it Hakuto, which means white rabbit. So, the moon's associated with white rabbits in Japan a lot. And this would have been the first for-profit landing. First for-profit landing for the Japanese had it succeeded. What's that, Mark? What do you mean? Unfortunately, it was 30 feet above the lunar surface. Everything was going just fine. And then suddenly, they lost it.
Wow.
They lost the signal. They lost transmission. They don't know what happened. My guess is that when they thought they were 30 feet above the surface, they were actually impacting the surface. And they might have gotten, that's my guess. I don't know. They haven't done the full after action report on this. But, this was awful because, it had this beautiful, cool looking rover on it that was made by, actually, this was made, this is called Rashid, the Rashid rover. And I think it was the Arab Emirates that actually made this rover. And it was contained inside and was going to drop out and go for a little bit of tooling around on the surface. It was a concept. It was meant to show that they could get there. And they were going to land in a crater called Atlas, which is this crater right here on the moon. Atlas crater was it's fairly smooth in certain areas, as you can see. But what does that mean? It means it's still going to be bumpy, right? No matter what you do. The closer you get, the more bumps and rocks and debris you'll see. But that's why in the terminal mode, where it's finally coming down, just like the Mars landers, it has the capability to move itself to an area where there's less debris and less stuff to get in the way. And the Mars landers did the same thing. Incidentally, the United States is the only country that's been able to land successfully on Mars almost every time.
Wow.
Many other countries that have tried, and they have failed almost every time. And why is that? Is it because we're so much greater? Because we're great? Well, I think it's because our engineering is actually unparalleled when it comes to doing, lunar landings and Martian landings. We learned an awful lot about space doing these things. But it's not like we don't share that knowledge. The Japanese didn't do this in a vacuum. They communicate with us.
Did they mean to land in a crater, or was that just the way it was going? Shouldn't they? No,
that's where they wanted to land. They whenever they do this type of thing, Marianne, they actually have a definitive location, and then they have what's called a landing ellipse. It's a little ellipse on the surface that the lander could land anywhere within.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so if they land sooner, then it'll be at this end of the ellipse. If they land later, it'll be at this end of the ellipse, but it'll be within the ellipse. And they do that so that from space, they can then see it with like a lunar reconnaissance orbiter would have actually been able to see Hakuto on the surface in one of its orbits. And that's something.
Still can, maybe.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually a very good point. I'm actually certain that they would have tasked LRO to look at the Hakuto landing spot to see, in fact, if they can get an idea what might have happened. Because it's sad that it was blown up. Okay, of course, we get these kinds of comments from our Kathy. Yeah, aliens did it. Yeah, however,
I don't know, we shot down balloons.
Yeah.
Kathy, we shot down their balloons, so they're shooting down our.
That's right.
That comes from Earth.
Well, that's true. That's true. If it was an alien balloon, right? Exactly.
Could have been. Yeah. Hey, Mark, can I kind of have you put that crater up again real quick, if you wouldn't mind?
Sure.
I have a question about it, and just kind of off subject. It was a really beautiful crater, and it has all those. Are those collapsed lava tubes that we're seeing in there? There's like those little lines.
Smart.
What? That's really cool.
They really, very well said. Yeah, those are when lava runs free on the moon, sometimes it will run through an area that gets then sealinged over. A sealing goes over it, but the inner core of this is still very much fluid and running with molten rock. And so that would be fully underground. But then the roof of those things could collapse over time. And if it collapses at one end, it sort of trickles down and goes to the other end. And that's what we're seeing here. We see this also in Hawaii. There's lava tubes in Hawaii.
Oh, cool.
That's the same thing. Yes, those are collapsed lava tubes. Now, why are lava tubes important to us when it comes to lunar exploration or even colonies on the moon?
I have an idea.
Yeah, tell me.
Is that where we're going to try to live first because we're protected by the tubes? Is that it?
This is why she's on this show.
Well,
guys.
I learned it all here.
Right? Marianne, how come you didn't say that, huh?
I learned so much from Tara. I'm continuing to learn.
Yeah.
It's a back and forth.
Yeah. And I know Daryl knew the answer to that too, by the way, because we've talked about that before. But yes, in lava tubes, we wouldn't want to be in a collapsed lava tube. We'd want to be in a lava tube that has yet to collapse. So we'd find a void under the surface and gauge the strength of the ceiling, make sure it's not going to collapse anytime soon.
Good.
And we would be protected from UV radiation, which is, of course, stark and sterilizing from the sun at that point. And we would be safe to land there. And we'd probably be landing on the moon outside and then get down into the lava tube where we'd set up some kind of, I call it an inflated-tat. An inflatable habitat.
Inflated-tat. Interesting.
Inflated-tat. Yeah, that's my name for it. Yeah. And so these inflatable habitats that are being worked on by aerospace companies, are really good ideas because they not only hold the air you can breathe, they serve as an environment within which to live. And I've seen many tests on these inflatable habitats where they fill them to the point where they burst. And they have to fill them, and they do it in a vacuum. And they have to go so high over pressure that a human being could ever live in for them to actually burst. That they make just wonderful potential habitats. Now here's another one for you. It turns out that there's lunar regolith, lunar soil is what the word regolith means. Lunar soil that is actually usable to make oxygen from. Now, we've done this on Mars as well. On Mars, we have the MOXIE on the Perseverance rover. Right. MOXIE is Mars Oxygen In Situ Explorer. And what that does is it's about the size of a car battery, the one they have on Mars. It's a test. And they took in the carbon dioxide atmosphere of Mars, and through chemical processes, they produced carbon monoxide and O2, diatomic oxygen, what we need to breathe, what we need to make rocket fuel with. So we found that we could convert the Martian atmosphere to oxygen. So imagine, if you would, a much larger MOXIE unit on Mars with a bubble habitat. We could literally keep it filled with forever amounts of oxygen by using the atmosphere itself. Remember, carbon dioxide is 2 oxygens on a carbon molecule. So through a chemical process, you could imagine how you could separate one of those oxygens, combine it with another one, and you have CO, which is carbon monoxide that would come off as a byproduct, and then you'd have O2. So that's neat. Now on the moon, they would do that in a different manner because the lunar soils do have bound up material in them, bound up oxygen in certain places. So they could use that. In fact, we know there's ice on the moon, water ice. And that's what? That's H2O in solid form. So we have one oxygen right there that we could disassemble from the molecule and combine with another oxygen and make O2 there as well. That's a young concept right now, but it's working. We're working toward that, So I think that's pretty interesting, right? How that all seems to be working. But unfortunately for the Japanese, again, their first commercial venture. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. This probe, Hakuto, was one of the competitors in Google's X Prize. And the goal was to send a lander to the moon, land, deploy a rover, and tool around just a few thousand feet and send the data back to Earth. That's what they had to do.
Just a few thousand feet.
So you're saying this is all commercial. This is not the Japanese NASA doing this.
That is correct. It's not JAXA. JAXA is the Japanese.
JAXA? Okay.
Yeah, JAXA is the NASA equivalent in Japan. No, this is just a commercial venture. In fact, this is done by a company called iSpace in Japan. And they kept going with the project even after Google canceled the X Prize. Notice I didn't hear there was a winner. The reason is because they canceled the whole prospect, and that was in 2018. They canceled the competition. But the company that made Hakuto, they continued because they said, no, we're going to see if we can do this. This is pretty cool. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did. Yeah.
That's like they built that rocket, which I thought was cool, was a 3D printer, some of the components.
That'd be exactly interesting, right, Marianne.
Doing something like this, it'd be cheaper, I guess, if we could use a 3D printer. I don't know if anybody's looking at that.
I agree. Yeah, Isabella.
I love it. You got it, Isabella. That's going to be the next thing.
For those that don't know, Isabella is in Bulgaria, and she is one of our staunchest supporters with SkyTour LiveStream. She's done a number of really cool things for us. She's a brilliant artist, and connect with her because I'm sure that she could do some great work for you too. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention also in this is that our new telescope that we're going to have will have the capability of looking at the moon far better than our current system. Keep in mind, our current system is many full moons across in size, right, in field size. So we have to zoom way in to see the moon. And by zooming way in, we're losing all these pixels out here that could be used for the image. Okay. Dingo.
Yeah, sure.
Dog's got to go. No, she's
Marty.
Oh my gosh.
So in other words, because if we zoom in on a full moon, okay, we lose all those pixels outside. Our higher focal length system is going to have a focal length that's going to make the moon this big in our view. See, it's not even visible in this whole view, maybe even bigger. Mm-hmm. So all the pixels of the camera will be used for looking at detail in here. And it's going to make it so much easier to see detail on the moon that we currently cannot see because it's too fuzzy because we're zooming in. We're doing wide angle views of gorgeous nebulae, hopefully we'll get to some of them. What I'd like to do now though, is to, speaking of gorgeous galaxies and so forth, is to turn it over to someone we all know. Okay. This guy down here, you see him down there? Yeah, he's down there. He's hiding behind this picture. Okay. And I'd like to go and do a deep dive with Daryl tonight. And let's check out the night sky. What do you think, Daryl?
Okie dokie.
All right. Take it away.
Whoops.
No, it doesn't start with whoops. No, I'm just kidding.
That's how the universe started. Whoops.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's funny. What'd you do? I don't know.
I don't know. Look oh God, it keeps going faster and faster.
It just happened. Okay. I don't know what I did.
Here it is. Can you see it now?
I can.
Okay, this is a little before sunset tonight. It's 7:18 and 25 seconds right now. I have the atmosphere turned off so we can see the sun and you can see the stars, but the sun is up. And I'm going to make it go away now. Sun is setting. And you can, behind the tree, give me just a second. The sun sets a little before 8 now here in Colorado. So 8 o'clock at night. The sun just set. And you can see here's Orion low on the western horizon, Taurus low on the western horizon, the Pleiades. They all flew by Venus a couple of weeks ago, and Taurus is going away. Orion is about to go away. Canis Major and the bright star Sirius is all about to go away. Above them, you might remember Mars was in the head of Taurus a while back. Like in December, Mars was right about here. And Mars resumed direct motion after the Earth got far enough ahead of it in our orbit. And Mars has since moved out of the head of Taurus. It was right between the two twins, Castor and Pollux. And tonight now, Mars is up to the upper left, to the lower left of the star Pollux. And you can see the winter circle is about to set. And after Sirius and Rigel go away, all it's going to be left is Procyon, Pollux, Castor, and Capella, plus the star Callanan right there. That's called the Arch of Spring. And winter stars are pretty much gone. And we'll give it another hour. You see, Sirius is setting. I saw Sirius last night, 9:30 p.m. Sirius was just above the western horizon here, southwestern horizon, and it was about to set. And so, say goodbye to the stars of winter. But the stars of spring are up now. I'm going to give it another hour, and we're going to go over to the south. So there goes Betelgeuse. Here comes Scorpius right there. I mentioned last time, I think, that there's just a very short, just a matter of a couple of minutes. Betelgeuse and Antares, the heart of the Scorpion, and Scorpius are up at the same time. And then Betelgeuse goes away, and Antares and Scorpius keeps rising. We are in springtime. Here is the Big Dipper. And from the Big Dipper down through Canis Venatici and Coma Berenices, Leo, Virgo, and down on into a crater in Corvus. Here's that band where all the bright galaxies are. The 1,000 brightest galaxies in the sky. 3/4 of them are in a band running right down, right down across this part of the sky. And that's what we've been looking at lately. M81 and M82. Darn it. Pardon me. M81 and M82 are right up here near the head of the Big Bear. And we've looked at M101, which is right here between and above the last two stars in the handle of the Big Dipper. Somebody in chat I saw mentioned a double star in the handle, and it's that one right there, Mizar, plus its partner Alcor. But M101 and then M51 is right down here, and getting into Coma, Messier 100, and Messier 64, and I think 63, and on over to Leo, 95, M96, M105 are under the Lion's Belly, and the Hamburger Galaxy and M65 and M66 are under the hindquarters and the tail of Leo. And then here in Virgo is the Virgo supercluster right in this area here. And actually all these other galaxies in this area, they're all outlying members of the Virgo cluster. Virgo supercluster is huge. This is where we've looked at M87, the one where the big giant black hole is, and we've seen the jet coming out from it in the past. And then all the way down to recently here in Corvus, the Crow, we looked at the antennae galaxies. Really cool, two galaxies kind of spinning together and looks sort of like a bug. And that's what we've been doing this time of year. But hey, here comes the stars of summer over in the east-southeast. By 11 o'clock now, you see there's Antares, the heart of the Scorpion. And I'm going to go, and here's where the moon is tonight. I'm going to go ahead and bump it another hour. So just after midnight. And I mentioned the dark horse earlier. That is the dark horse right there. That is the Pipe Nebula. The Pipe Nebula makes the back leg of the dark horse. There's the horse's front leg, and there is the horse's head. And the center of the Milky Way galaxy is right about there, just to the lower left of the bowl of the pipe. And that's what we got coming up then, is all the stuff in the summer sky. We have a ton of Messier objects, the cool stuff to look for in Sagittarius, which is just coming up right now. I'll give it another hour. And there's the teapot now. You see the teapot shape? There's the handle of the teapot, the lid. There's the spout of the teapot. And again, if you, I've mentioned before, from the tip of the spout of the teapot on a line to the Pipe Nebula, center of the galaxy is right between it, right about there. Tons of Messier objects in Sagittarius because it's the center of the galaxy. It's well populated, and then we go right up the Milky Way and the Great Rift up in the Cygnus. That's pretty much it.
Wow.
Well, hey, I have a question, if I may, real quick.
Sure.
Daryl, there at Sagittarius, the teapot isn't that the great attractor? Isn't that where everything is flowing to?
No, the great attractor is below the southern horizon here. We can't see it. It's down
okay.
here, I think it's a constellation called Norma and Triangulum Australis, which is below the southern horizon here. But the Virgo supercluster, we are moving this way in space. Everything, all the galaxies in the local group, Andromeda, M33, you name it, they're all moving with our Milky Way this direction. And then the Virgo supercluster and everything else is all headed down this way.
Oh.
Excuse me, this way toward Norma and Triangulum Australis.
Wow.
But the center of our galaxy is right about there.
Very cool.
Cool.
And which Daryl's mentioned before, and that we've noticed in our astronomy travels throughout time, there's only one little tiny area through which you can see through to the closest part, the closest little window, I should say, that allows us to penetrate and see through to near the center of our galaxy. And that's called Baades window, Baades. Okay. And that's in the Sagittarius region as well. I think Daryl could point that out too.
Can we see that with the STLS telescope?
Yeah, we can see Baades window. In fact, what's interesting about it is people think it's like a gap or a hole. It's actually where you see more stars than ever because it shows there's no gas and dust, no dust, I should say, blocking your view of what's beyond. So you can kind of see where it is, but you can't identify it as such with STLS. You can identify it as such with other telescopes.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Daryl, for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah, you were muted. That's why I was talking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So anyway, this is what we've been looking at lately is galaxies. This is what we're going to be looking at. You might remember if we've seen Messier 4 globular cluster there, which is just a little bit to the west of Antares, and that's M4. M5 is a globular cluster in Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, if I remember correctly. You see, it's a man holding a snake. There is the front half and the head of the snake, and there is the tail of the snake.
Can't you turn on the mythology?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, you see the guy holding the snake?
Yeah, cool.
So M4 is right there. M5 is up here. M6 and M7, two star clusters down here near the tail of the scorpion. There's the scorpion stinger right there. Mm-hmm. And then we've got, M6, M7, M8 is right there above the spout of the teapot. M20, the Trifid Nebula is right there. And M11, Wild Duck Clusters, and Scutum, the shield. And they keep right on marching up the Milky Way up into Cygnus, which we'll get into more when it's closer to summer. M57 Ring Nebula is right there between the bottom two stars in the constellation Lyra. M13 cool. Globular Cluster is right there in Hercules.
Wow.
And it just gets better and better. So here comes summer. And that's it.
Very good. Well, thank you, Daryl.
That's awesome.
That was really, really cool.
I'll stop screen now.
No, that's fine.
Cool.
So I thought maybe this would be a good time for us to kind of make a little segue to one little thing I want to talk about because it's in news notes. I think it's very important to understand. You know how our Earth has a core that's a solid core of iron and nickel, right? Mm-hmm. Around the outside of the iron core is a liquid core, molten core. of iron and nickel, and it's rotating against the solid core. And as it rotates against the solid core, again caused by Earth rotation, it does lag behind a little bit, and then sometimes it might come to a stop and might then go in reverse based on many different processes going on at the core. That process generates electric currents. Okay, and this kind of looks really remarkably strange, but this process generates electric currents, but in turn, on a planetary scale, those electric currents also generate a magnetic field. Mm-hmm. And that magnetic field is what keeps us safe. Okay, it's the reason why we're not dead, because much of this, exactly so.
Yay!
Okay, the sun generates these ultraviolet radiation, which penetrates our atmosphere a little bit, but it also it generates very high energy particles of protons. The nuclei of atoms. Okay, protons and electrons that come zipping toward us at a high rate of speed. Those are tiny little bullets, and left unchecked, those would rip your biology apart if you were exposed to them directly for any period of time. So rather than rip your biology apart, I think it's wise to have an atmosphere, for one thing, that can help mediate some of the, with the clouds, mediate some of the ultraviolet radiation that reaches us, for one thing, some of the infrared that reaches us. And then also have a geomagnetic, field, a magnetosphere that will actually capture those high energy particles from the sun. And we get them, and they spiral around the North Pole, they spiral around the South Pole. Mm-hmm. And those are called auroras when we see the lights. And what are those lights? Well, that's the high energy particles interacting with the molecules in our atmosphere. Okay, oxygen glows a particular color, all right, nitrogen a different color, and different compounds produce different things. Sodium actually kind of makes makes a yellowish glow over the Earth. We call that sky glow. And there's a green color as well. So the Earth has a very noisy atmosphere electromagnetically, and so we're looking through that the whole time. That's why the views from the space telescopes are just so stunning. So thanks to our molten outer core and our solid inner core, we have a magnetic field. Now, by contrast, look at the moon. Okay, this was a finding that was just announced. The moon has a core that is solid. It has a diameter of about 320 miles, the solid inner core of the moon. And it also has a thin liquid layer around the outside, a molten outer layer, kind of like the Earth. But it's not enough to generate a very, very massive magnetic field that can protect it. It doesn't have a magnetic sheath that keeps it safe. Okay. No atmosphere either to block harmful radiation from getting all the way down and diving into the soils, sterilizing them, which is what happens. Now, it also turns out that the moon's core is made of the same material and has similar density to that of the Earth. Makes sense. Kind of adds credence to our thought process for how the moon actually formed, and then if we take a step further out beyond the moon, we have Mars. Now, Mars core has been revealed to us through the Mars InSight lander. Now, that's a lander that you might remember had these two solar panels that opened up, little disc-shaped panels, and a drill that they tried to drill into the surface, and it was having problems. But it could also, sample the heat leaving the planet and figure out how that related to what the core was actually made of. And that's something, and what's going on in the core. And so that's what they've done, and they've discovered that the Mars core, as revealed by InSight, has a solid center core. Okay, where now seems like a thing, right? However, it's got a a diameter that's about 2,280 miles in diameter.
It's huge.
Mars is only about 4,000 something miles in diameter. So we're talking about a smaller world with a fairly large core. However, its core was expected to be larger than what we found. And so what that means is there's probably lighter elements in the core than we thought. Okay, now that could have random ramifications for why the magnetic field on Mars was lost over time, right? Maybe it wasn't massive enough in the core. Maybe it didn't have enough radioactive elements in the core to keep the heat going, to keep the core or the outer core even molten enough so that it could actually generate electrical currents as it moved against the inner core. Now the inner core is solid though for a reason that you might not realize. It's solid because of pressure. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you put pressure on things, they can become solid when normally they might be molten. Okay. And that's why we have a solid but very, very hot inner core on the Earth, on Mars, and as it turns out on the Moon. So very interesting about the planetary cores and the studies that have come up. Now, maybe it's just a matter of time before the magnetic field diminishes as it has on the Moon and other planetary bodies. And if our core does diminish at some point, well, we have what's called a knife core, NiFe, so nickel iron. Nickel is the symbol for Ni is a symbol for nickel in the periodic table. Fe is the symbol for iron. So we have an NiFe core, and it has a radius, actually a diameter on Earth of just about 3,000 miles or so. All right, that's the inner core. The outer core is about 4,000 miles in diameter. See, there's a big difference. 3,000, another 1,000 miles of molten outer core around the Earth. And it turns out that the total core makes up about half the diameter of the Earth overall. Similarly on Mars, sort of similarly on the Moon. Okay, but the point being, at some point, the magnetic field is going to basically spin down on the Earth. Now, people were talking about that recently. You heard, oh no, the core is reversing direction. What does that mean? Well, it's also something that happened some decades ago as well. So it's a natural process that occurs here. It doesn't mean any disaster is about to happen. It doesn't mean the Bureau, a non-scientific, body is out there. People cry about Nibiru because it sells their books and it gives them talks at conferences. Okay, but Nibiru doesn't exist in the way they say. There's a lot of bodies out there in the Oort cloud and in the Kuiper belt, which is beyond Pluto's orbit. Okay, there's a lot of bodies out there, but none of them are going to come zipping in here every few million years to wipe everything out on the planet so it starts again. The fossil record shows no evidence of that. We have geomagnetic reversal, where the poles drift a little bit, right? And they do, and we've had pole shift here on the Earth, a couple hundred times anyway, over the course of our fossil record views, and we see that in the crystals at the North Atlantic spreading ridge, right? So those crystals sometimes they look like they're all aligned this way, then they're aligned this way after a certain period of time, and in between there's a general transition to go from here to here. It takes a few thousand years. So it takes a few thousand years for pole shift to occur. But nevertheless, you'll find someone out there on the internet telling you that it occurs catastrophically and immediately.
Hold on. It's happening right now.
And what I actually say is we might be in the middle of one right now. Our pole is drifting ever so slightly. And I think we're probably in the middle of a pole shift. And it takes thousands of years to occur, so you'll never see it.
The geomagnetic pole shifts constantly. It wanders all over the place. It's in a certain general area, but it moves all the time.
That's right. And that's why your compasses and your data is updated. Magnetic north is updated routinely. GPS are updated routinely. And birds update routinely. How's that? They don't download new firmware for their little brains. No. What they do is
bird docking station.
Right. That's a good one. They just benefit from having millions of years of existence. They can adapt to the subtle changes all right, that they that happen, and they actually work out a methodology of behavior that takes them to the right direction over time.
Mark,
Yes,
does the changing in the poles and stuff, does that have anything to do with climate change at all?
The folks on the internet would have you believe it means doom and gloom, but it happens over thousands of years. It's not so much a climate change issue. There may be some effects. Okay, climate change though is mediated. Now I'm not even going to include the human elements, but there's long-term solar cycles and there's long-term Earth cycles that happen here that are primarily responsible for climate change. And yes, there's 8 billion plus people on the planet, and I'm sure that has some contributing factor, without a doubt. But I'm not going to say that it's entirely due to human activity, because that would actually be kind of a arrogant view to think that it was. We're responsible for destroying the world.
Aren't we awesome?
Let me put it this way. Okay, when the Tunguska comet did the airburst, okay, when the asteroid struck off Yucatan down there that killed the dinosaurs, okay, we call it the KT boundary. When that happened, Earth was definitely devastated for a period of time, but the Earth itself sprang back. It sprang back with a passion. In the Permian period, 252 million years ago, there was a massive volcanic eruption in what's now Siberia, okay, called the Traps region. And that eruption spewed so much carbon dioxide into the air and into the atmosphere so quickly that the temperature on the planet, get this, it rose by 21 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
In just a few months. Can you imagine that?
Oh my gosh.
The plankton in the ocean died. Creatures that depended on certain foods, they didn't have food, they died. And then the domino effect took out 96% of all life on the planet.
Gosh.
We went back to nearly a barren planet at that point.
That's incredible.
Right? But look we survived. We, the royal we. Look at, hello, it's the royal we, I survived.
That's what you can say,
yes. So, fascinating. I survived. Yes. No, but, I've been voted upper class twit of the year. Oh. Okay. No, that was a Monty Python skit. So the point being that when we talk about, the way the planet is resilient, it is very resilient, and it's more than resilient against the likes of us. Okay. What would a nuclear winter do? What would a nuclear war do? It would devastate the planet. It would devastate civilization, but would it actually affect the planet? Temperatures would rise. We'd get nuclear winters. We'd get a change in the climate. Yes. Okay. But would it kill the planet? No, it wouldn't, because the planet's seen worse. The planet has seen far worse. So I think that, but that's not advocating for that at all, obviously. Just pointing out the resilience of our planet. So
it's been warmer in the past. It's been colder in the past. And it will be again.
That's right. And these are cycles. Go ahead, Daryl.
No, don't get me started. Go ahead.
I think I just got the engine going. Here we go. Okay. No, but that's true. So the point being, okay, the planet's very resilient, and we're in the habitable zone around our star. Our star is not the easiest star to live around. In fact, our star is not considered optimum. Did you know that? In fact, we exist here on the planet in spite of our star.
So take that, son. Take that.
Yes, it's a habitable zone. It is. We're in a habitable region where liquid water can exist on our surface. It's not too hot, not too cold. Has an atmosphere that's breathable because of creatures that generate oxygen. And in fact, plankton, the byproduct is oxygen. That's effectively bacteria poop, by the way. So congratulations, you owe your life to poop. to be fair.
It takes a village,
It takes a village or many colonies of creatures. No, it's the blue-green algae, yes, that are causing the photosynthetic production of oxygen. Yeah, but keep in mind that this is something that happened here for billions of years, That's the reason Marianne's here. It's the reason Daryl's here. It's the reason you're here. I don't know why I'm here. I got hatched or something. I don't know. But, we look at the universe around us. And again, that's what SkyTour is all about, and that's why we went the route we did. We want to make sure that people know just what it is and just what happened here on Earth to lead to life here on the planet. To that end, what I can do is I can just take us through just a little bit of, what we've seen and what we experience. Okay, now with SkyTour. So what you see up there is a bunch of objects. These are selected objects that we're looking at. We're just going to look at a few of them, I think. But it starts with the dynamic universe. Daryl was with us for this, I believe. This here is a time when we had a it's not showing. Let me stop the screen sharing for just a minute and do it the other way.
Not my fault.
No, not your fault. I won't say it is. Okay, we'll just do this. Okay, so this here was a time when we actually had a lunar eclipse, and what you see right here is the lunar eclipse. This was January 20th, 2019 at 11:41 and 35 seconds, right? And at that time, while we were going, this is the dome. These are our dome cameras we had at the time. And that's yours truly sitting in my little bunker here. Actually, I'm in the same exact seat. How about that? That was 2019. This chair is old. But actually, if you look at the moon, you'll notice there's a white dot down here. Okay, this white dot, don't worry about the white dots from the cursors. That's kind of just a strange effect here. I know. The white dots you see there, that white dot right there, that right there is actually impact that we captured. We're one of 5 groups on the planet at the time to capture that. That white dot is a meteor impacting the moon at the height of a lunar eclipse. Now, talk about lucky shot, huh? Isn't that cool?
Very amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And so what we did was when we looked at this, we saw it happen. And I just wrongly assumed at first that it was a glitch in the video because it happened fast, and it was gone. But you were watching an object that was about 18 inches across hit the moon at high speed, vaporize, and be visible from 240,000 miles away. And when they looked at this location later, they discovered there was a crater right there where that hit. Wow. A new crater that was that never before seen. So you see, the universe is dynamic. Now, we take pictures a lot of the time of many of the same things. Now, why do we do that? Why would you think we do that? Who knows the answer?
To see the difference as time goes by, right? I mean,
see the changes.
Yeah.
You got it. To see changes.
Mm-hmm.
We, when we look at comets, for instance, we see comets that have been here. And as we watch comets go through the sky, we can watch them going through the sky in one night. We can see them move in their position, in other words. Now, they'll be there for weeks and weeks, but you can see them moving through the sky, moment to moment in the sky. You take a picture every 45 seconds or a minute, and you'll see a slight movement. And we've done that. And we've actually made trails. Isabella, in our chat, even tonight, she has made live videos of the track of the comet throughout the night. And she had it ready for people to see before we were even done with the stream. Talk about dedication to us. These people are amazing. Isabella is one of them, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
So
great.
But comets are short term. You see those things in the course of a night. But wait, all the stars are moving around the galaxy, like I told you before. And when stars are moving, does that mean we could see their movement? Most stars, we won't detect much movement. And that movement has got a special name. It's called proper motion. And we love to confuse you with all kinds of names, us astronomers. So proper motion, you can't really tell unless it's a fast-moving star that happens to be close to us. And there's one star that we can see that does that, okay? You okay, Dingo? You gonna survive?
She sounds horrible.
I know she sounds horrible.
Poor baby.
Okay. And I'm sure that people know that some people have heard about the famous star that you can see over a period of a few months as it moves. You can actually see it move through the sky. We've done it.
Cool.
Barnard Star?
You got it. Barnard Star. Barnard Star is about 6 light years away. And Alpha Centauri is like 4.3 light years away. But Alpha Centauri is not moving with the same rapidity. It's kind of more moving with us. Barnard Star is kind of crossing as time goes on. So we can see its movement. And over a period of just a few months, we can see how it's moved against the background of the stars. And guess what? It'll never be in front of those stars again.
Wow.
In that same way again, ever.
That's
it's
really
a one-time shot every time. And that's part of the dynamic universe. Now, there's a few other things that are interesting. And let me see here. Well, Daryl mentioned this before. And I want to see if I can find a good example of it. These are not all the things we have seen at all. These are just some.
2 minutes.
Get your acts together.
All right.
Okay, let me do this. Okay. Daryl talked about the Lagoon Nebula, Measure 8. That's down here just off the screen. And the reason it's off the screen is because looking in Sagittarius, look at all the dark nebula in there. Every dark object you see in there. That is actually, let me just bring us down here. And let's do this. Okay. Every dark object you see in here, that's a dark dust cloud.
Wow. You're breaking up a bit, possibly. Yeah, you're cutting out. Mm-hmm.
Well, about now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's hope that it's just Skype.
There you go.
Okay, so you see the blue edge here to the dark nebula? That's a reflection nebula. They glow blue. Hard to see.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful, you know. But that right there indicates what's going on out there. That dark nebula, that's got the precursors of life in it. It's got those ices in it, those particles I showed you that were overlaying the interstellar grains of silicates and carbon. These are all phenomenal locations, and maybe someday this will be a place where life might actually develop.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I'd like to go there. Mm-hmm.
I would too. It'll be a little chilly though. It's probably hovering just above absolute zero, a few degrees above absolute zero there. Maybe 20 degrees, 20 Kelvin. But I mean, I would like to say before we leave, you see that lady down below? Oh, that's Tara, but down below her, another one. That's Mary Ann. You gotta look for Mary Ann coming up in the future here, because she has started a group called UAPPD. Okay, and I would like there we go. And Mary Ann, in the last few moments here, why don't you tell us about UAPPD?
Okay, since you're breaking up, I'll go ahead. UAPPD is called Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon Police. It's basically a presentation of police officers that have seen the unexplained while on duty, but never talk about it. And it's because of the stigma that is put on police officers by the public or other police officers. And we're talking whether ghosts, UFOs, or a Bigfoot. And it's a really cool presentation that my partner Dave Rich and I do.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's awesome.
We are out of time.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, we are. Well, sorry, Marianne. I wish to give you a few more minutes, but you know what? Look for UAPPD and watch Tara on MUFON What's Up. Check out Marianne on her show, I Detective. That's Wednesdays, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
What's Up are on Tuesdays at 8 Eastern. Yeah, thanks, Marianne. Good.
Right.
Thank you, Daryl.
And check out Daryl and I on SkyTour LiveStream. So thank you guys.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
We'll see you guys a little later. Bye-bye.
Good night.